Hi, everybody. Welcome to second segment, episode 226 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we thought we would take a quick chat about how outdoor spaces come to life.
You know, we've talked about how important outdoor space is to be usable because, the homes are a little smaller. You really need that outdoor space to enjoy the outdoors when we can. You're probably not going to sit out there June 1st through June 30th, or I'm sorry, July 1st through July 30th.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I felt like 20 years ago, everybody had to have a media room. And that was like the big thing. All houses had to have a media room. And some people still put them in there, and they're beautiful and they're fun and they serve their purpose. But there are more and more people that are finding that outdoor living space is the way to go because it just adds shade, it adds value of the backyard, another seating area. It works for so many different reasons.
So we have been talking about, Adrian and I have been talking about doing this at his home. And so Weston and I started planning it out. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of his backyard before we did anything. It was a cool outdoor space. There were a few things wrong with it. That is a wood deck, which a wood deck can be good, but a wood deck only has a certain amount of life on it, and a wood deck does require maintenance.
And if you're not from Texas, he's referring to the sun is going to wear it out. So it can have rot that can cause issues. If it's not sealed and stained at least every other year on the minimum, power washing at least once or twice a year, depending on what falls, what trees are around. There's just more maintenance to these wooden decks than people really anticipate.
And so as we started talking about the planning and design, we knew that he wanted an outdoor space that would fit a sectional, so he could spend time out there. We could spend time out there watching TV, reading, whatever. It's a great place now for me to go get coffee, hang out. But we also wanted a dining area.
I think that I love the seating areas, especially when you've got the TV and whatnot, but I have to say that our outdoor dining area in the summer is used all the time because I feel like people come over and they understand it's shorts and it's, casual shirts. Even if you're in the pool, it sets up and it just works out so much easier.
And so we needed a product that, we don't have the expertise to build this from scratch. And so we started doing a little research. And we landed on this Toja grid system. And after we found this one, I started looking at other manufacturers of a similar product. And I found these were the ones that had the thickest steel that they used on them.
Yep. This was actually what we used last year to build 2 trellises at my house. And then going forward, it was just kind of became a perfect segue into creating the pergola with these exact same things. What I really like about the design on these is how thick the sleeve is that receives this, and it creates the perfect 90-degree angles. And you decided that y'all were going to do 6x6 rough cedars, and that is a heavy. When we were doing 10 by 10s, we did a 12-foot in a couple of spots. Those get a lot heavier, and having that support when it would slide in, and one of us would kind of come down the ladder, hold it up, the other one would move over, slide in the next piece. It wasn't terribly easy, but it was enough that 2 people could do it.
It was like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You know how jigsaw puzzle, once you've got the piece in place, it really kind of sticks right there. This Toja grid system really did that. We did the double system, the 2-part, because we wanted to go this 22-foot span, and we knew that we would not be able to get a 22-foot 6x6 piece of rough cedar without it costing thousands of dollars. So we didn't want those posts coming down on the house side, and so we started trying to figure out how we were going to do that, and we stumbled upon the Skylift system. And Skylift is really pretty cool because it allows you to go through the roof onto the exterior wall of your home, and it gives you these really great sealed places that are very sturdy.
So they're actually, I was kept calling the saddle because the way that the actual post would lay into those things. And as Jeff was saying, they had really tight socks that come down. And then the way that it allows you to reset the shingles, on Sunday it rained really hard and I got a text and it said it didn't leak. And I was like, that's really great. And so
I had 3 spots I was looking at with a flashlight. Did that one go? Did that one go? Is that okay?
So I like that. I do not like when pergolas attach to the roof line. I think it doesn't quite work out. I think structurally, if you're a pier beam or a slab, given our soil conditions, it can really create havoc. So having this lifted up and off, I thought was smart, and it looks finished. I have to say, Adrian posted the finished products, and I think he had well over 200 likes, and I don't know how many people were commenting on it, but here it is.
So we did this in a day and a half. You can see we got out there and started it. We were putting stuff up by like 8 o'clock in the morning, I think.
It's so funny because I was told that my outfit on day one looked like I belonged in a gay German Broadway production. And I don't know whether to take offense or not. So it was so raining and we did have to stop.
Yep. So here's day 2. You can tell we're making a little progress there. We drilled all those footings into the concrete slab and tightened it all down. Here's the last little part of that beam going up, and it was interesting. We'd ask Adrian to come out and help us at one point, kind of hold and steady something, but I would say, beyond the 10 minutes that he was out there helping, 2 of us were able to do this.
Yeah, and the only injury we had on this entire thing was a couple splinters, and then I accidentally leaned onto the drill bit for the impact drill and burned myself. And that was it.
And those are sails that we had put up on the roof. They give the sun screening, as you can see right there, how bright the sun is, and he's just hanging out under it. It was very, very cool and comfortable. Let's look at a couple of the after photos here, so here's the first one. I think this was our first after photo.
That's day 2 when you first set it up.
And you can see his furniture fit perfectly in there. We luckily measured that right. He's got plenty of room for his dining room table there, or his outdoor dining table. We're probably going to move those umbrellas. It's really not a need for them now, but they look good in the photography.
They do. They look really great. And then once it got all dressed with all the plants, it really started to come to life.
Yeah, really did. And this was on Sunday. I think we had just power washed all of the deck as much as we could. Power washing is like chasing your tail.
I know.
It's like, it's turned up a little bit more. So
I think that, like, looking back, the only things that I think that we went and got my table saw,
Yep,
and I should have my chop saw, and it worked. We had to spin 4 times on each post when we had to do a trim. The cement was harder than the original impact drill you bought, and we had to go rent one. And I will say that an impact drill is the best and only thing you should use when you are dealing with cement. I don't think we could have done it any other way.
We first learned about the importance of those when we were doing the project at his house, because the first 2 or the first 4 holes we drilled probably took us 10 minutes each hole to do, and then
at
we went
least
through drill bits.
$30 drill bits, and they'd come out like nubbins, red hot.
So we went to Home Depot and rented a impact drill, and
I almost went through the house the first time. I leaned into it like it was like tough, and I was like, oh.
Jason had sitting in the living room.
Let me
go
go run around, make sure I didn't go through the house. But anyway, that's a great product, and if you are interested in what all our pros and cons, call Jeff. He'll be happy to help you with that.
We will, and we're not going to do it for you. We'll be happy to tell you everything we know at this point. I think we maybe have built our last pergola.
That was a lot. It wasn't that bad. It was just, I felt nervous the whole time because we were going up, to the very top of the ladders, and you and I are both handling 12-foot beams to the point where one of us is still holding, the other one gets down, moves his ladder 6 feet, and then goes back up. And then we did it, but I was a little anxious there were a couple times, but we did it.
Hope you found this helpful. It was a lot of fun for us. It was a lot of fun to share this with you. If there's any other topics that you'd like for us to talk about or share information on, we'd be happy to do that.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.